afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget that podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. We're going to be talking about yard art. Yard art is beautiful, and I absolutely love it. Now, you have to be kind of creative, but then it kind of grows on you after a while. So, we have our gardens, and so we've made actually art out of the garden using block gardens, and I put just little flowers on it. I put things like this right here. This is made out of cola cans, and so I've just put those inside the garden as well. Just something that's going to catch the eye, but I'll tell you why it works. If you use something with some silver in it, and maybe you grow any kind of berries in your garden. Now we have blueberries, we have blackberries, and we just have all kinds of berries out there, and grapes. Two different kinds of grapes out there. We've got the Concord, and then we also have the muscadine grapes. The thing about it, your enemy in a garden, especially with any kind of a berry on it, it's going to be birds. And so birds like to take over a garden. We talked about this in a previous show, but I've done something else I wanted to tell you about. And again, it's called yard art. So as a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and show you right here.
Okay, so
take a look
this
at
is the old stump.
Okay,
and,
all that is cola cans that I have painted. And I'm going to show you
it down.
how
It's
I
kind
did
of whimsical
that.
looking.
This is an old stump. This was
you just
a
really don't
tree.
want to put all the extra effort in.
So Phil started cutting it down.
And whacking a stump. I think this is a good thing.
Don't cut that part
and
down.
Yeah, it's kind of whimsical.
I've got an idea.
And artsy and all the above.
I'm going to show you just a few minutes the finished product and how it actually began. But yard art is the way to go, and you can put yourself into your yard. So I wanted to explain to you some themes of yard art. Now this came from PoconoRecord.com, and it's POCONO record or record.com. So this is from someone, she's an artist, and so she has a marketplace, and so this is her quote. She says, "For several decades, we've seen increased attention given to placemaking and sense of place as important indicators of cultural and social vitality. So the yard and garden remain as one of the few common realms where people with ordinary means and skill can shape their own hands to create a personal expression that is visible to all." You can do this using stuff out of the trash can, like cola cans. Normally throw those away. Don't throw them away. Okay, it goes into the landfill, causes a mess. Use your imagination. I'm going to show you how to do it. So a chain of design themes began to form as Nolks, who is the author and who owns Pocono Record, drove around the state gathering materials for a book she was writing. She says, "I began to see how the intent of one gardener was linked to the other, through the outcome may have been different, and though it was probably different in their background or a location far flung, she found some common themes." So here we go. Local landmarks. So both the gardener saw him or herself sending a message, or as the viewer, Nolk said, "Turn right at that yard has become the statue, like with the Finks in mind," like my granddad a long time ago. So I would try to find someone's house or whatever. My granddad would say, "Now, once you get on County Road 23, you go around a curve, and you're going to see a real pretty windmill out there. And it'll be on the left-hand side, and it's big and it's beautiful. And the windmill is just huge, and it's a real pretty red color." So that's how he would actually explain to people, especially out in the country, how to get to a particular destination. So we like to use any of those things. He may say, as you turn down that road, there's going to be a huge rock sitting out in the yard. So he would come up with common themes like that. And I find myself doing that. So it's just a local landmark. Number 2 was monuments. The displays are tabloids that showcase the life's work. Kind of like when you go to, there's an old cemetery, and it's called the Old Beulah Cemetery, Old Beulah Baptist Church, and my great-great-grandfather is buried out there. He was a war veteran. He was with the war between the states. I think he was actually my third great-grandfather. And so there's a huge monument out there dedicated to him and some more people who were actually in the Civil War. That's monuments. Okay, hobbyists, connoisseurs, and obsessive collectors like daylily people. You'll find, oh, their yards are full of daylilies. Or maybe cactus collectors who became mentors to others new in the game. Transformers, like folks that have moved into a ruined landscape and they made it into their own version of paradise, which is what we've done out the back. We like to call it our own little Garden of Eden because we've got all these little gardens out there as well. Holdouts may be folks who remained almost on an island in landscapes that were being exploited and destroyed all around them because their family had been there for 5 generations, which is what we've done. And to them, land is identity. That's why we bought my granddad and grandmother's farm. 38 acres of just land just to roam on. So you can see this sometimes in urban ghetto settings. The sacred gardens. Almost everyone I profile, she says, use the same language when describing some aspects of their yard. Things like, welcome to my Garden of Eden. I feel I was called to do this. This is a sacred place. And I have to tell you, the thing about gardens and making it your place, you got to do it. Now you'll see over to the right-hand side, you'll see an Amazon link right there. So one of my go-to, and you'll see this in one of the videos I'm going to put out there, is this stuff right here. It's called DAP Quick Seal. It's not just for toilets or for the sink, for plumbing. I love this. This is my go-to, and it actually puts things together. And you're going to see that in just a second. Let's just go on ahead and get started. And right here, let's look at this video
Okay,
right
so
here.
here's another project. And so Phil cut down this old tulip tree. It had died, and he was just afraid it was going to ruin the roof of the house. So there's the front porch, and got everything kind of strewn around a little bit. But so Phil was going to cut this all the way down to the ground, and I said, no, don't do that. I've got a project for this. So what I'm going to do, so there's some tin cans down there that I've made flowers out of. So what I'm going to do is put them on this branch. And I may do something else with it too. But anyway, y'all just hang in there.
Okay, so I just wanted to pause this because you see the old tree stump there. Okay, so this was right by the house, and we've always been really nervous about that. We're living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we had a bunch of trees and stuff that were like right at the house. We had those dug up because we started seeing some problems with the foundation. And that's what I was afraid this tree was going to do. But lightning struck it. I'm not sure what happened to it, but the tree died. So Phil went on ahead and started cutting it down. And I said, no, please do not cut this. Don't cut it all the way down through the ground. Don't dig up the stump. I have an idea for this tree. And you can see right down to the bottom, those are coelacanths. And with these coelacanths is what I use to put yard art on this stump. And now it doesn't look like weird looking, or, you want to have taste, have real good taste when you're doing something like this. But I wanted to go on ahead and have him leave that where it is because it stopped growing. The roots are no problem. They're no issue whatsoever. But I wanted several different parts of this stump left intact. And I used very basic things when I did this as well. And I'm going to run it back and let you see it again so you kind of get just a general idea.
Okay,
so
so
there we go.
Here's another project. And so Phil cut down this old tulip tree. It had died, and he was just afraid it was going to ruin the roof of the house. So there's the front porch, and got everything kind of strewn around a little bit. But so Phil was going to cut this all the way down to the ground, and I said, no, don't do that. I've got a project for this. So what I'm going to do, so there's some tin cans down there that I've made flowers out of. So what I'm going to do is put them on this branch. And I may do something else with it too. But anyway, y'all just hang in there and we'll just see what happens. Okay, so
with that said, again, I wanted to mention this. This is one of your go-to things right here. Now, they have them on sale for $9.95. This particular person does on Amazon. I encourage you to buy this. It's an adhesive caulk. Now, this is what I learned about using this, okay? So it was hard to do with the the concrete blocks that I was using for the blocks. The only reason it was hard to do is I was trying to do it to the side. So if you're going to put this on concrete block or anything like that, you need to have it turned up, okay, where it lays flat, not to the side. So you'll need to turn that up and give it some time to dry. But I'm going to tell you, it's not going to come off. Now, I had to hold it for a few minutes when I was putting it on there. And it has stayed. And we've had several thunderstorms and what have you, so it's going to stay on there. I'm going to show you another video real quick. Okay, that was video 1. Let's look at this one right here. You'll get a better eye view on how to make these cans, how to turn these cans into flowers.
Okay, so here we are. We're going to the segment where we are making yard art, and these are made out of Pepsi Coke cans, or any kind of can, it doesn't really matter. This is the bottom of it right here. So what we're going to do, I went on ahead and I've sprayed painted these things actually in 2 layers, okay? They need to be 2 thin layers. And let me show you the paint I love is this right here. Okay, it's Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to send a link down here. This is my go-to. This is the only one I'm going to use. I like the satin on it. But anyway, you can use whatever you want. But this is paint and primer all in one. Make sure you shake the cans really good, too. So the next step is going to be putting these together. And this is one I've had outside since last year. And so they're together. And I found out that birds do not like white. So what I'm going to do with these, I'll put the white on the outside, and then say I'm going to put these 2 together. And then on the inside, we're going to put some glitter right here, okay? And it's so pretty when the sun hits it. You can't see right now, we're in the greenhouse, but it's really beautiful, and it kind of scares pests away. Back in the day, my granddad on this farm, you know, we bought the farm a few years ago, but my granddad would have grapes, and you know, and the birds and stuff want to eat the grapes and things. So what he would do is just use old pie tins, and he would get them and hang them up, and they would move in the wind and that kind of thing, and so it would get rid of the pest. And I don't want to use any pesticides or anything like that, and I like birds, I just don't want them eating all my grapes and things and raspberries and things that we have planted outside. So this is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you just for a minute how you can actually cut the cans. Now use a can opener to get the top part out of it, so that's gone. And you can cut it any way you want to. So let's go ahead and try to cut it as straight as you can. By the way, find some old scissors that you use for absolutely nothing but this, if this is something you're going to do. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start cutting, and I'll show you how I do this. So here we go. Should wear gloves, but I've done so many of these things that I kind of know what I need to do. So let's go ahead and start just cutting these little, and it just has this natural effect that goes to it. Now, if you are using like bean cans and stuff like that, you're going to have some tin snips. This just won't do it. But for these, it's just like, you know, it's a very thin aluminum. So let's just go all the way around. And you don't have to be perfect, because guess what? Flowers are not perfect. So, I mean, you don't have to get anything and measure it and all that. Just do this. I think this works out really good. So here we go. I'm cutting some more of the can. Now, I'm going to make 20 of these flowers, because they're going to go at the concrete garden. The concrete garden, I mean, it's functional and that kind of thing, but I'm an artsy person, so what I'm going to do is put all of these that you see right here, they're going to be putting those together, and they're going to be on the very end of the concrete, just to kind of give it a Donna look, and it looks kind of eclectic and all that. But it's an art thing, and I'm an artist, and I'm just always looking, you know, how that goes. Alright, so the last one, try to get it just to as even as you possibly can. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. So what I'm doing, I'm going to leave the inside like that, okay? It doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is bend this back, and it's kind of a couple of things you want to do. So let's go ahead and bend them back. Then I'm going to show you, and see, you're not going to hurt yourself. I mean, if you're afraid, you might need to go ahead and wear some gloves, but I don't know. I used to, I just don't do that anymore. Here we go. After you make about 200 of these things, you don't worry about it. Okay, now I can leave it like that, But I'll have to tell you, it just seems, it's really pretty when you put some kind of a wedge to it. I think it's just pretty. It looks almost like a windmill. Plus, right here on this part, right here, see that was the edge of the, yeah, see that, it's not going to hurt you, see, look. Okay, so it just leaves the edge, but I want to show you, it's easier to cut them when you have it flared out like that. Okay, so here we go. There's one. And again, don't worry about being perfect. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and cut that one. And see how your scissors, now again, don't use your scissors that, you know, you've got to make sure are functional. So, there we go. See how easy that is? And it kind of shortens it down just a bit too, and it makes the other part that you're going to connect this with look good as well. So, there we go. Just a few more and we're done. Boy, I've been cutting on these things. I'm going to make 20 of them, so I actually have 10 of the concretes ready with gardening in it. And so another thing you want to do, I'll move this out of the way. Okay. You want to get it on something hard. I'll put it here so maybe you can see it a little bit better. And just kind of hold it down like that. You can very well leave it like that if you want to. I just like color. So I'm just going to be putting really pretty color on these as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the resin effect. And then we'll be right back in just a minute. So y'all hang in there, okay?
Okay, so you can see that's the beginning stage right there, how it turned out. Let's go ahead and cut into a commercial break. Then I'm going to show you how it all finished up and how it all worked out. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We're talking about art, the art world, how you can actually take something out of the trash can and turn it into a form of art. Now, we've been talking just for a few minutes about how all this stuff came together and how it actually began. So let's go ahead and look at the video number 3.
Okay, so I'm finishing off this segment of the show. So what I've done, I've put the different colors together. Now, like I said, birds don't like white, but I've got to have some kind of color in there. I mean, you know, that's just the art person in me. I just think it's prettier that way. So I'm going to show you how I connect these and how they're going to stay. These are not going anywhere. So I use this product. It's called Quick Seal. And you can also find this from our sponsors at Walmart and with Amazon. So I'm going to leave you links to these so you can see what I'm talking about. Now you can use a caulking gun, but I like this one. And so what you do now, you need to cut it at an angle. I don't know if you can see that. So there you go. You need to cut this at an angle with your scissors. So I'm going to show you what I do. This is like a little quick tip. Okay, so I've got one yellow one to go. So I'm making 10 of these to go on the side of the concrete. I'll be making another 10 of these a little bit later, but I wanted to show you the first 10. So what I want is for this part, see right here, I want the white to be on the outside of the yellow, but I don't want wind. You know, we get tornadoes. This is Tornado Alley. I mean, I don't want the wind, you know, blocking it off. Sometimes I think we're back in Chicago. So anyway, how are you going to get this to stay? Always make sure, by the way, when you're not using it, that you keep the cap on it. This stuff dries out like really easy. It's not expensive, but I just don't want to have to run to the store all the time buying stuff. Okay, so this is the inside. That's the white part. See that? This is the inside. So what I'm going to do, you don't have to use a ton of it either. So just go ahead and put just a bit right here. That's all you're going to need. Probably not even that much. I'm probably overdoing it there. So I'm putting that right there. I'm going to press this down inside. See, this is the bottoms of the cola can. That's the bottoms of the cola can, and they are together. And that one dries in just a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is put this over here to the side. So the next step is going to be right here. We're going to put the resin in. I'm going to show you how gorgeous that turns out. So I'll be back shortly.
And as you can see, it only takes a few minutes to put those things together. It took me longer actually to just sit down and talk to you than the whole process took. And again, using this, I use it for everything, and it sticks to your concrete. It sticks to metals. I haven't used it on any kind of cloth material or anything like that, but I really do like the way this sets. When it sets, it works. So there's the link. So if you don't mind, go on that link right there and go ahead and purchase that as well. Let's see. Oh, I've still got some time. Okay. So now what I want to do is show you the finished product, okay, and how it looks out in the yard. And also make sure now you do put the lid tight on this. If you do, this thing will last you a long time. So make sure the lid is. And another thing I wanted to point out too, you see it's still moist right there? It's because I keep the lid on it. Make sure you use an angled cut now when you cut this. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll let you see what the final product looks like. This is my front porch and how this thing turned out.
Okay, so this is the old stump. And, well, beats knocking it down. It's kind of whimsical looking, so if you just really don't want to put all the extra effort in cutting down and whacking a stump, I think this is a good thing. And again, it's kind of whimsical, you know, and artsy and all the above. So, there we go. Tried to get the colors separated as much as I possibly could too, but anyway, there's the finished product. Okay, so this is the old...
So from an old tree stump, you can see how this thing turned out. And by the way, if you look over to the right-hand side, you'll see an old pump. Actually, it's not an old pump. I think I found it at a yard sale or something. And what I was planning on doing was making and Phil's going to do something with this later, but I wanted to do a water fountain. But the only thing is the bottom of it was just way too big for that stump. So I've got another idea on that, and we'll be talking about that again at a later time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, but I wanted to mention something else to you, and this is about art in your garden. One factor that really happens here is the three-dimensional garden galleries. And this, again, this is from just a regular landscape expression, fragile, fleeting by, you know what I mean. But these places are art forms. So she says also 3 of my sites were damaged by Hurricane Rita. Now, 1 burned down altogether, and a 45-year-old windbreak in the Panhandle was seriously damaged in the fires in 2006. So some of the sites that are on the decline, you know, we're talking about the sites where you find someone's location. Like my granddad used to say, that big windmill looking thing out there that's red, it'll be the next house on down. Those are landmarks. So create your own landmark with your art. So life is fragile. I mean, it's just something you need to do. You can also, I'm going to give you a website where you can find more of the, just get some basic ideas on how you would like folks to find your house, your landmark. Maybe use your property as a landmark. GeorgiaFaces.caes.uga.edu. I'll give that to you again. The one to remember, Georgia Faces. You can just also type in Georgia Faces UGA.edu, and you'll be able to find it that way. But thank you so much for watching The Edge. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I want you to remember this one thing. Anything you take out of a trash can that's not put in the landfill can be turned into art. You can do it, absolutely. Check us out on the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. I'll be seeing you a little bit later.